should be fine. And may it not be the case that you can reconnect. We will send you the presentation afterwards, so nothing will be missed. Well, the team is I'm the only one today. I'm a lecturer in financial accounting and management accounting. I have worked at the pension fund, the APG pension fund, which was one of the biggest in the world, and also the biggest in Netherlands, and a combination of 15 years of academic and professional experience. I'm from the Caribbean. I'm from Curacao. I like to reading. I like cooking, traveling, and I really like the entrepreneurial path as well. What is Finance and Controlling International? I think you have an idea, but what does it entail exactly? Well, what is the content of this program? What can you expect from this program? I can imagine that you're asking or wondering about that. What are you going to learn? You're going to learn about the process that make an international organization financially healthy. You will bring figures to life with good analysis and research, and you oversee the financial bigger picture with attention to the company's cultural differences and environment. I always say, let's say you are the manager of McDonald's in Moscow, and you're going to implement a new system, a new way of operating your company, your organization. This will be completely different if you're going to do the same, use the same methodology for a subsidiary, and for example, in New York, because of the culture, because of the way of working, because of the way of work ethos, but also based on the cultural differences, corporate culture, but also the culture from the nation is completely different. One might work better with top-down environment, and the other one might work better with a bottom-up environment, for example. And with this, we hope that you can bring the figures to life with a good analysis. Well, what does good analysis like is like a container definition, but good analysis means that you really understand the story behind the numbers and that you know where to look for the numbers. So where to look means the research, to do the proper research so that you know the numbers that you have, the story that you're going to read behind the numbers are coming from a source that you can trust. What we'll be focusing on? We focus on finance, accounting, and data. What is data? Data are just pure observations, and then we give them meaning, then become information, and this information we're going to use to, we call this finance, either finance of our company, how can we grow, how can we become better, and then we will have the accounting part where we're going to look back, did we really become better, are we operating efficiently, are we using the finances properly? And then we can start the cycle again. Okay, maybe you're not doing it proper way, so we're going to need to collect data, give them meaning, they become information, we use it for finance, we look back at the accounting, how are we performing? We will have a strong focus on personal development because we do not believe that you're going to become a let's say a organic calculator. So you just can crunch number very well. No, you should also develop soft skills. And in this world of AI, the job that you're going to learn, probably AI can do it, but AI cannot learn the soft skills, the negotiation, the understanding, the bringing the story across to a different audience. So that's very, very important for in our program. You will work on assignments and projects related to international companies because it is an international program. So whatever we do will be in the context or related to international companies or related to international news and international dynamics. You will develop your network and work experience from day one because you will be in a group with people coming from different countries, maybe Italy, maybe Hungary, Bulgaria, Poland, Netherlands, Belgium, Germany. So you will have a environment of international people. You will discover ways to make global difference in a sustainable society because we focus on sustainability. There's no business without sustainability nowadays. Not because we want, it's because this is like the norm, trend, and it's not a trend anymore. It is becoming a law. It is becoming a regulation. At least it's part of some EU member states, it is the case, and we expect this to become the standard in the future. So we are preparing you for the world of tomorrow and beyond. The program will be fully taught in English. You will have an international community of students and lecturers, as I said before, and at the end you will obtain a bachelor's of science. The community of lecturers, I'm from the Caribbean. We also have a colleague from Ireland. we have from Morocco, and the ones we have from the Netherlands are the ones with a lot of international experience. Let's say we need to split the knowledge spectrum of the program into three chunks. There must be multiple chunks, but if you do in chunks, it will be personal issues like how we're going to set up a financial administration, create a master budget. Also, will have a business game about risk management, and then we also focus on the knowledge aspect like finance, account information systems, and data management and skills issue like digital skills. I mean, nowadays the digital literacy is becoming even more important than 2 years ago. Business communication should be able to communicate with people. I think this is be next besides the numbers, the ability to communicate properly is the most important element. Slightly maybe more important than the number itself because if you have a very good story, people will buy into it, and the numbers might look a bit shady, but people still might buy your story. And the statistics, because you need to understand what's going on. You need to understand the pool of information. You should be able to play with the gears so that you understand what this pool of information is telling you. You might also consider why FCIT is a study for you. Uh, it is a unique program. It's only offered by 40 universities in the Netherlands. I think nowadays there's only 3 universities offering it. You have the opportunity to spend half a year up to 1.5 year abroad, which I think is exceptional because when you graduate, you can have international experience. Let's say you're striving to be part of one of the big multinational. You can have very good curriculum, but you can also show them you know how to adapt and survive and cope with international environment. So it's not like you're having a nice CV, but you're having something that you cannot buy or you cannot simulate, which is experience. You will become a financial specialist with a broad scope. Why with broad scope? Because finance is quite broad, but you will focus on multiple elements of finance. Financial accounting, for example, management accounting, finance itself, like financing companies, the bonds and the stocks, mergers and acquisitions. So we will focus on multiple elements of finance. That's why you will become at the end a financial specialist, but within the specialism, you will have a broad scope. It's a bit odd to say about yourself, but I was learning or hearing from other students. They say that it's inspiring lecturers and from Netherlands and abroad. At least we try to do our best to make the lectures quite inspiring for the students. Besides the program, you also might think about why this university and why you should be um, attracted to this university. Because at Advance, you'll be trained to become a flexible and versatile professional, someone who makes difference and is prepared for the world of tomorrow and beyond. This is a philosophy that we have. For example, a lot of the projects we allow students to use AI because it is a tool, and we do not see it as a threat because you will have to use it this later in the world in your real life. But let's say you're using AI and we ask you a question in the presentation and you cannot give the answer, then you have substitute yourself with AI. This is what we do not want. We want you to be able to still understand the concepts and the mechanism of the topics that we are discussing, but you still can have assistance from AI. So there's two different things. You can customize your personal learning pathway. This is elective, which we will come back to it later because we will have a graphical representation of what it looks like. Then you will understand it because personal customize your learning pathway is like, again, a broad container definition. So I will come back to this later. You receive personal guidance support for both the professional development and personal well-being. I always say to students, I see them as an athlete. I want them to perform, or at least we want them to perform. But how can you perform if you're not feeling well, if you're not feeling respected, if you're not feeling being or feeling that you're being seen? So that's why we have an environment in which uh, we are proud to say that it's quite safe. And I always say, I always tell my students, it's like we have a tribe And this tribe, we have not rules, but we have codes. And these codes, we need to respect those codes. And when we have this code, when these codes are being respected, we can create a community, and together we can thrive as a community. And that's the this idea behind. And that's why we can create an inspiring and safe and welcome environment for everyone, regardless of their color, regardless of their belief, gender, and whatsoever. The city of Breda, you might wonder what this city has to offer and why Breda. Breda is considered often the pearl of the south. It is close to the big cities like Rotterdam, Amsterdam, Antwerp, and Brussels. So if you're, I think it's a very good city to adapt because you're coming from a different country, and it's a good place to adapt. And then if you like to get the flavor of the bigger cities, you can always go train ride. I think max 45 minutes. You're in Amsterdam and Rotterdam. So that's great. That's an advantage of being in Breda, but also close to the border of Belgium. And it is a city with two universities, so there's a quite a vibrant student life in Breda. A lot of English being spoken in the city because of the internationals coming in every year. A lot of festivals are being organized for the students every year. I think there's a big festival in September with all students who get together and get to know each other. And sometimes friends are being made. Sometimes future wife and husband are being met there. Good business bodies are being met there. So this is a very organic and beautiful environment to jumpstart your academic career. Overview of the program itself. Program is split it in 4 years, and each year has 4 quarters. Uh, for example, in year one, you will have each quarter has a topic. For example, in year one, quarter one, you will have the us rating in the financial module, which is like a soft landing for everyone because we have people coming from a very finance heavy or math heavy background, some not. So the idea is to have everybody aligned, and then we will go to the quarter two, which we're going to delve into the finance fundamentals. Then we go to quarter three, the third quarter, which will focus on the operational control in business, and quarter four, the management information system. You can also look at this like this. Let's say you're an entrepreneur. So, you learn in the quarter one, you learn the basic of entrepreneurship. In the quarter two, your business is, you start your business, you understand the finance, you need to understand the finances of your business. In quarter three, your business is growing. So you need to come with methodologies to control your business so that people cannot, you don't have theft in your company, the auditing of your company is in place. And then in quarter four, your company is growing even further. So then you need to have a system so that you can keep control of your growth, but also what's happening in your company. And then you go to year two. And in year two, you start year two in the first 2 quarters. So the first semester, you'll be doing internship. The first quarter of the internship will be focusing as a business controller. So you'll be operating as a business controller at your internship. Um, in the second quarter, you will be focusing more as a financial controller at your internship. Then you come back to the university, then you can choose an elective. For example, you can choose the personal financial independence elective, which is all about how you can create your own portfolio so that you can have financial freedom in the future. At least more free than the current only rat race people in the world. Just an example. You can also choose ethics and challenges. You can also choose for cross-border business. There are multiple electives that you can choose among. And then you come back to your regular program. Then you will have management accounting and finance, where we focus on hardcore deep in the management accounting and hardcore deep focus on finance. And then you go to year three, you can choose an elective again. And then in quarter two of year three, you will have a topic focused on controlling and reporting. Let's say you have an annual report. How are you going to compile this annual report? What should be communicated in the annual report? What are the structure of the annual report? And how we should we present this to for example, tax authority, investors, or the board of directors. And then you can go to the graduation. But here's the catch, and I want you to focus on this part. You see here in the quarter 3 and 4 of year 3, you can go to the graduation. You can also say that instead of going to the graduation in year 3, you can go in year 4. So instead of doing the elective of the minor or the exchange, you can do the graduation for a whole year in year 4, or you can keep it as it is, just half a year in year 3 and half a year in year 4. So this is optional. So you can really modulate your learning pathway. This is what I was referring to. So this is like the graphical representation of what I was referring to. Program setup. I mean, the topics that we are going to deal with are mergers and acquisition, finance, economics. This is very light economics, very, very light. But mergers and acquisition, we go deeper. Management accounting, we go very deep. Risk management, reporting, process mining, account information system, and strategic control. So those are like the nine topics that we really delve into them. Um, let's say how a week looks like. It's not, you see here, for example, on Monday, 8:45 till 6 o'clock. It's not like you will have classes from 8:45 until 6 o'clock. No, it is that you will have class in between these time frames. So those are like the time frame. So you can have classes from 11 till 15 hours, so 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or from 8:45 until 12 o'clock. And then maybe 1 hour you will have from 2 o'clock till 3, and then it's over for that day. And then on Tuesday, you will be working at home, either on projects or doing your homeworks. Again, on Wednesday, you will have classes and also the opportunity to work with your teammates, because you will be working a lot with different cultures, with different people from different country, and in team. Everything is teamwork. Every assignment will be either in duos or more. On Thursday, again, you can work on your team and also classes. And Friday, you will have a day to work at home, which you can decide yourself. Either you're going to meet online, or you're going to just go to the gym, or you're going to focus on your homework, whatsoever. It's up to you to fill in those days. Where can you do your internship and or your exchange? I think this list is not completely updated, but for internship, you can do it anywhere in the world. Let's say you know someone in Libya and you know a company, you can do it there. You can do it in Algeria. You can do it in Australia. We have people doing it in Australia, who has done it in Australia, New Zealand, Indonesia, um, Tajikistan. We have um, people going for exchange in South Korea, Colombia, Mexico. So the world is at your feet, definitely. So there are plenty of opportunities. Where do our graduates work? Um, yeah, at the ABM AMRO, Adidas, at the Rolls Royce, Nokia, Maserati, ING. I mean, if this were like the Olympics, this will be the gold medals of the Olympics. So I think you can only get there if you are a good athlete. And so you have a good trainer. So Avans is your trainer, you're the athlete, you can go win your gold medal in the corporate world. So this is, it speaks for itself. You don't need to brag about this. It's just naming the facts. Practical informations. Um, is there a match? Yeah, well, if there's a match, probably there is a probability that you're curious and solution oriented, critical when necessary. You look ahead and often think about how something can be done differently or better. So you have a critical attitude. You like dive into numbers. And if you think about later, you see yourself as an enterprising professional, internationally oriented, and with a broad knowledge of business. So if you have at least two of these traits, I think there's a match, because maybe you like numbers, but you don't like dive into them. But when you start doing this program, you will fall in love with dive into numbers. So that's why I say if you have two of two of the four traits, then you're safe, and then we can say there's a match. Education. Either you have a HAVO, VWO, or MBO level 4 equivalent. English must have been a part of your courses. And in case of you have a HAVO, it should be either mathematics or accounting or economics. Those are the profiles. It's quite Dutch-oriented structure. For English, you can prove it with either an IELTS or a TOEFL, TOEIC, or Cambridge. So you can prove with that. But you can also have exemptions. So if you have a previous education in English, then you're exempt. Your native language is English. Let's say you're coming from Canada or United States or Ireland, so you can be exempt. You can also be the case that your high school diploma is on the exemption list. And it is important also to mention that an intake intake will be part of the intake interview will be part of the admission procedure. It's not like an exam, but it is well pivotal part of the admission procedure for us to get to know you and for you to get to know us as well. Because we want you to succeed, we want you to be a match for us, and so that's why we're like investing our time in future successes, and that's what we want. Deadlines for the Dutch pre-education students, you should not enroll later than the 1st of June 2026. So the 1st of June 2026. And non-Dutch pre-education students, and with a non-EU nationality should enroll no later than the 1st of May, which is quite close, 1st of May. And if you have an EU nationality, then it's also no later than the 1st of June 2026. The introduction week will be in the week of the 31st of August, and the lessons will start on the 7th of September 2026. Please take a picture of this slide because I know the tendency of students, they will read July instead of June. Somehow they will read 1st of, I don't know which month instead of May. So please take a picture of it and so that you do not forget this. You can contact us always if you have further questions or for the information. You can check our website. You can also email us. I think there's also here you have the sites and email that you can send us. But we also have student ambassadors, so they can link you with a student ambassador so that you can have WhatsApp conversation with them because they are studying, so they can really give you the non-sugar coated version of what I'm telling you, but I haven't sugarcoated anything, but they can help you with housing maybe, or the books, the tips and tops that you should take into consideration. So yes, it's useful. I think this was the presentation. If there's any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. I'm here for you.
Can you see the chat, Reamfla? Because there's a question in the chat already.
Chat. Do you help with obtaining internship abroad? No, we do not really help. We help you just how to prepare for a. No, I'm lying. We do organize 2 events, career events. Those are called, and these career events is where you can meet with students who went on internships. So maybe you can link with these companies, but also when companies come in to look for interns at the university. That's like how we help. But really connect you one-on-one with the company, we don't do that. It's your task to do this. And so far we have had never someone who never found a internship. We have people working at Fokker. It's like a company who builds airplane parts. We have people doing at Hilton. So you will manage. Is your question answered, Lisa? Okay. Yes. Any other question? Anyone else? Anything unclear? Anything that I need to clarify? Maybe anything that I went too quickly through. I'm here for you. No further questions other than Lisa's question? No? Then again, I will do a final check. Slavka, do you have a question? Slavka?